She could name the exact date her marriage ended, month, day, the weather, but she couldn't name one thing that she enjoyed. Not a vacation, a thing, a meal, a song, 10 minutes, nothing came. And I've had that conversation more times than I can count. So here's the least impressive assignment I give anybody. And the reason people call me from parking lots afterwards, undone by it. Welcome back. This is Dr. Lisa, science-backed, soul-supported, the Nezzen community. We're on day 4 of Ordinary Becomes Extraordinary. And today we're talking about what changes when somebody stops surviving a life and starts liking it. Thursday's the day I stopped talking about myself, because it's one thing to hear me describe my own year and quite another to hear how ordinary this pattern actually is. So let me give you a question I ask nearly everybody I work with. It sounds like small talk, and it's not. What is the last thing you enjoyed? Watch what happens. Most people answer a different question. They tell me about a vacation 4 years ago, so I narrow it. Not a vacation. A thing, a meal, a song, 10 minutes of something. What is the last thing you enjoyed? And a great many capable, competent, high-functioning people sit there and cannot retrieve one. She could name the exact date her marriage ended, month, day, and what the weather had been doing in high def. And she couldn't name one thing she enjoyed. I say she because I've had that exact conversation more times than I can count with both men and women across every kind of loss there is. The details change, but the shape never does. And that shape is not a memory problem. It's a filing problem. Everything painful gets indexed, cross-referenced, and kept. Everything pleasant goes straight through without touching the sides. And here's what's actually going on in that head, because there's good work on it. Barbara Fredrickson at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, developed what's called broaden-and-build theory. And the central idea is a contrast. Negative emotions narrow you down. That's their function. And it's a good function. Fear doesn't want you weighing down 11 options. It just wants one. Now, anger narrows, fear narrows. Under the threat, the aperture closes down to a single relevant action. And that's how our species got here. Positive emotions do the reverse. They broaden. More of the room comes into view. More possibilities occur to you. More people register as approachable. And her further argument, the build half, is that this widening is not just pleasant in the moment, it accumulates. The relationships, the skills, the resilience you draw on in a crisis were mostly assembled during that broadened period, which is genuinely useful thing to know. Now, the honest part, and I insist on this one because most people who repeat this theory quietly skip it. The most famous number ever to come out of that work was the positivity ratio, the claim that there's a critical tipping point that's roughly 3 positive emotions to 1 negative, quoted to 4 decimal places, 3 positives to 1 negative. In 2013, Nick Brown, Alan Sokol, and Harris Friedman went through the mathematics that produced that number, and it showed it did not hold up. The ratio was retracted. Fredrickson withdrew it. So if you've seen that number on the slide, it's not a fact about you, and I'm not going to use it. The broadening half of the theory has fared considerably better than the arithmetic did. And the broadening half is all I need for today. Because look at what a long stretch of threat does to a person's aperture. 2 years narrowed, which was correct at the time. And then the threat ends and nobody tells the nervous system. So they're walking around a safe life with a threat width field of view. Nobody in that position is choosing to miss things. They just have the wrong lens on. So here's what I give people. I want you to hear how unimpressive this is, because the size of it is the point. 1 meal with no phone, and then this. While eating, chew slowly, swallow slowly, and really taste the food. Notice how the food tastes after a drink of water, and continue to explore the taste of each food on your plate. Then write one sentence about the experience. That's it. That's the whole intervention. It's not a technique and it's not a practice you have to learn. It takes exactly as long as the meal you were going to eat anyway. And what comes back is almost never proportionate to the assignment. More than one person has called me from a parking lot afterward, completely undone by it, saying some version of this same sentence. I don't think I've actually tasted anything in 2 years. There's a poem for this, and it's the shortest one in my book, 15 lines, called Chop Wood, Carry Water. And it's about making meatloaf. This is Chop Wood, Carry Water from Grounded in Chaos, page 106. I cook for one now, full meals whenever I am hungry. My food budget goes much farther now. I made meatloaf with raisin bread, and I greatly enjoyed the hint of sweetness that I would have been chastised for in the past. My portions are still for a family of four. Four is no more. One is delightfully sufficient. I savor every bite in perfect silence, free to be with my thoughts of how good the meal is, thanking God for food, and being proud of my ability to nourish my body so that I can be here now. Yeah, I used raisin bread in the meatloaf, and that's an entire event, you know. A woman put something slightly unusual in meatloaf because there was finally nobody there to tell her not to, and you know what? I really liked it. And then look at where the poem goes in 15 lines. Four is no more, one is delightfully sufficient. I savor every bite in perfect silence. That's the same silence that was unbearable 8 months earlier, identical silence, completely different relationship with it. And the title tells you what it's really about. Chop wood, carry water, the old Zen line about what comes before enlightenment and what comes after it. Before chop wood, carry water, after chop wood, carry water, same tasks, same Tuesday. The work doesn't become glamorous, but you're present for it. So the thing I want you to take is not the meal, it's the discovery underneath, which is that the capacity for pleasure was never lost. Nothing had been removed from anybody. What builds up is a backlog of unfelt ordinary life. And the first thing you actually attend to tends to knock you sideways. So here's today's practice. One meal, no phone, no screen, nobody else's conversation, just yourself. And while eating, chew slowly, swallow slowly, and really taste the food. Notice what it changes to after you drink water, and continue to explore the taste of every food on your plate. Then write one sentence about the experience. If you find you can't answer, that's not a failure. That's the diagnostic, and it really means you needed this. Well, that's day 4. If you couldn't answer the question either, and if I asked you right now for the last thing you enjoyed and nothing came, the whole poem is in Grounded in Chaos, and the link's in the comments. Chop wood, carry water, 15 lines long, and it's the one to start with. Now, if this gave you an easier breath, help me pass it on. Like, subscribe, tap the bell, save it to a playlist, and drop a comment because I read every single one. Every share brings one more person into the Nez Zen community. That's how we build this, one steadier day at a time. Now, tomorrow, the least dramatic thing I own and why it took 3 years to be able to write it. This is science-backed, soul-supported. I'm Dr. Lisa for the Nez Zen community. This is day 4 of week 4. Ordinary becomes extraordinary.